Okay, aloha mai. Again, this is Fergerstrom from the Big Island, and I'm over here at Pono Kealoha's place, and we're doing these short videos on really pressing matters that are facing our Hawaiian community. That we are firm believers that if you give them the proper information, you'll know what to do with that information. And the reason I have to say this is because we are flooded with all kinds of misinformation or disinformation that makes us start thinking things that are not truly there. Okay, and so the subject matter that I wanted to talk about today is this thing called the Rolls Commission. Okay, now the Rolls Commission, this is all part of a long, gradual thing that went on, starting from the federal recognition to the Akaka bill to Kauinoa. Whichever manner in which they've been able to display it and try to get you to win over on it, it is the same process. The bottom line is that they want to make you a Native American. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at this for a while. Well, first of all, a lot of us know we're not Native Americans, but then there's a whole lot of us who think that we are. Okay, and this is very important to understand. And so, I want to bring your attention to Public Law 103-150, which was done in 1993, and it had to do with the apology to the Hawaiian people for the involvement of the United States government in the illegal overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom, and how we lost our land in the first place, and how we've got this de facto government that continues to drive what happens here in Hawaii, which, by the way, is in violation of all kinds of laws, but we'll reach that point at another time. I want to specifically address the Roll Commission. And so the Roll Commission now is, this was actually a part of a greater scheme with the Akaka bill, and that was to do a roll call, get everybody to sign up under this idea that we're going to be able to have our own independence. We're going to be independent. We're going to be able to have self-recognition and self-governance, you know, and all that's fine and dandy. It all sounds super, and it's something like, yeah, we need this. We need to fight for this, and it's like, brothers, please be careful, because they are screwing you again, and they're doing it deliberately with the fact that you are more emotional than you are taking the time to really understand what's going on. And so, what is the Roll Commission? The Roll Commission is an attempt to get you, personally, to sign your name on a piece of paper, just like Kauinoa or any of these other things, to say that you, personally, want to invite and be a participant in a government structure that the United States will dictate to you as a Native American. Now, this is very interesting because I work with Kupuna on the Big Island. I had a time where the Kupuna were taking a lot of interest in this Kauinoa, in this Akaka bill federal recognition thing. And as you know, it's very difficult to talk to your Kupuna and say, I think you're wrong, Auntie. And so I had to find a way to do that and see if I can at least capture their attention. And so what I did with them was I sat them down and I says, okay, Kupuna, let me ask you a question. Do you think that they treat Native Americans as first or second class citizens? And of course they looked at me like, what are you talking about? And so I asked them again, do you think they treat Native Americans as first or second class citizens? And their answer was unanimous, second or third. And I says, well, this is why I'm bringing this up, because all these years we've been fighting over jurisdiction and everything else about the Hawaiian Kingdom. They keep kicking us out of court, or we keep losing, because they say there is no Hawaiian Kingdom in existence, that you are American citizens, you are first-class American citizens, because they essentially adopted us. Okay? And so I said, okay, well, that's fine and dandy that they've got you thinking that you're a first-class American citizen. But what they're doing to you now is they're asking you if you will volunteer to be a second-class citizen or less. And if that's what you want for yourself and your family and your generations to come. And by doing so, you have done exactly what they said in Public Law 103-150, that you never directly relinquish your inherent sovereignty. So by getting you to sign this little piece of paper, they've got you directly relinquishing your inherent sovereignty. Now this is really important to understand, because a lot of people will come up to me and say, oh, well, you know, Hank, Native Americans, you know, the Indians, they got their stuff together, man. They got their casinos, they got all these kind of things that are helping them out. I go, is that so? I said, have you looked at the bill? One of the first things in that bill tells you is that one thing the Hawaiians will not get, no matter how equal they say you're going to be, is you're not going to get casinos. Okay? They're reserving that for them. So the reason they want to do that is because a great deal of the Hawaiian land that's left untouched is under public trust. It's called the 5F trust lands, or the ceded lands. Now the ceded lands is really the seized lands of the Hawaiian Kingdom government and its people. They're the Kuleana lands. They're lands that all this land belongs to us. It's all held in allodial title. So I don't care who thought they sold it to somebody before. They could only share their interest, but they could not sell mine. Nor could they sell my child's or anybody else's. But under the American system, they say, oh, no, Auntie sold this. Well, good for Auntie. I didn't even know she could write. How'd she sign your paper? You know, and that's something you should really look at, because that's a pretty clever trick. They did it with the Indians, too. And so there are a series of laws that you can look at that can really help you understand what I'm talking about. There's a 6-volume series of laws known as the Felix Cohen Federal Indian Laws. And you can go on Google, on the internet, and look this up. There's 40, 50 pages of this stuff to tell you the short version and the long version. Well, I happen to have all 6 volumes. They're like this thick, of laws that they created as the United States went across the Americas, and as they reached these different types of sovereign Indian tribes, how they had to wrestle with that tribe in order to put them into a treaty contractual agreement that made them lose their rights and their sovereignty. Now, the United States they'll give you all this talk about, oh yeah, well, you guys you'll be able to be sovereign. Well, the United States government and the Supreme Court has already determined that Native Americans experience a special kind of sovereignty under the United States domestic law. Now, those words, sovereignty and under, are contradictory. You cannot be sovereign under something else. And so, you need to know the nature of the trickery. Now, what you also need to know is, don't suddenly think that this United States, who has decimated your culture, taken down your heiaus, forbidden you to speak your language, poisoned you and all kinds of stuff, is suddenly going to turn around and say, oh, these poor people, let's help them out. That is not the nature of the United States government. They don't do anything to help anybody but themselves. Okay? So this whole idea is that if you go along with this, then they can say, well, the Hawaiians now have put all their faith in and understanding in the United States government, and they want to be Native Americans just like the Indians. And you know what's really silly about this? They're not giving you a bead, not even giving you a shot of whiskey, bro. Right? No feathers in your cap, no nothing. They're not even telling you where is the area that you're supposed to govern. That's how in your face, blatantly wrong this process is. Yeah? And we are, Hawaiians, I'm so torn by it, because Hawaiians have struggled for so long that every time we think we see a glimmer of light, we start running toward it like, yes, we're going to be free and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, gang, the only thing we need to be free of is the fact that we are afraid to stand up on our rights. That's what we need to free ourselves from. Because our ancestors, and they were extraordinarily elegant and regal in the manner of their approach. A case in circumstance is Queen Leokalani when she was overthrown. You read her documents when she had a gun to her head and she was signing off the kingdom. You look at the way she wrote that and the amount of intelligence that had to go into that document. It would make you feel like we can do a lot better than we're doing now, because we can barely speak a sentence or a paragraph. You know, and yet here's our queen saving our nation under gunfire, and had done it so well that she has actually put in all the provisions to safeguard our final return to our understanding that we are better than free. We are Hawaiian. That's even better than that. Nobody has to set us free. We are free by nature. So anyway, I implore you to look into this Royal Commission, and I implore you to talk to your families about it, because it is so easy to get captivated in this idea that you're going to get something for free. There is no free lunch here in America. There never has been. It's always at somebody's expense, and this particular expense is going to be at yours and your children's. Okay, so this is going to be short, and I like to make them short because I hope I can just catch your attention. You know, like I showed up all in the water, yeah? I'll go see if I can hook anybody, and if I can. So, if you guys bite this bait and you're interested, please call me. My name is Fergerstrom. I can be reached at 938-9994, or you can reach me on the internet at hankhawaiian@yahoo.com. And I believe I have a Facebook page that I haven't really quite got together yet. I'm in the middle of transferring all my equipment over to a Mac system, and so I'm having a lot of difficulty. In fact, I even got this new audio recorder that's spectacular. All I got to do is learn how to use it, and that's coming up. So anyway, thank you for your time. I really hope somebody calls me up and asks me to come and present this. And believe me, I'm willing to travel anywhere. I'm a poor person, so I don't have money, so you're going to have to help me with the finances to get there, and maybe some accommodations. But I am more than willing to travel anywhere, and I'll speak to any group, and I really want to speak to groups that I haven't spoken to before, because there's no sense me telling everybody the same thing that knows about it. I want to talk to people who think that they are smarter than what I have to say. I want to talk to the doctors and the lawyers and the policemen and the firemen who go, I don't want to have anything to do with this, and yet they have something to do with it because they're going to vote it in because they don't know any better. Okay, I don't want anybody to say we lost our kingdom because, well, we just didn't know any better. So I'm telling you right now, I'm putting everybody on notice. You know it now, so you do know better.
Keep wine lands in the wine hands, yeah. Keep wine lands in the wine hands, yeah. On the road we go, far from life we stroll.